Welcome to the Growth Gyms podcast, where we believe that growth is a journey, not a destination. This podcast is designed to empower you with the necessary tools to unlock your full potential and develop yourself, both personally and professionally. We provide insightful conversations and share inspiring stories that will help you grow emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and socially. Our goal is to create a community of like-minded individuals who are on a journey of self-improvement and help you live a more fulfilling life. We aim to equip you with resources, strategies, and growth gems that you can apply in your daily life to achieve your goals and reach your full potential. So, get ready to embark on a journey of transformation and join us in discovering the power of growth.
What's up, everybody? This is your host, Chris Briggs. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of the Growth Gym podcast. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for taking out a time out of your busy schedule to listen to this podcast one more time. Hey, you know what I need you to do? I need you to like, share. I need you to comment. I need you to make sure that you get this episode out to everybody you know. Today, y'all, we got a great episode, and today I need you to make sure everybody can get this episode because it's going to be a great episode, y'all. Today we're talking about, and we're going to dive into, get your pen and paper out because it's going to be excellent. Today we're diving into a overlooked truth that many people fail to acknowledge, and that is unresolved trauma and how quietly it sabotages our growth. And so today I want to talk about how a lot of times how we really don't understand the fact of that trauma. Yes, it happened in the past, but we don't understand what it does to us in our future, and maybe how it is affecting even your present, because it shapes your thinking, it shapes the way you show up, it shapes the way even how you dream, and even the way how you feel about yourself because you have not dealt with unresolved drama. And so today I want to share 5 ways of how unresolved trauma can hinder your growth on this growth journey. So I need you to do share this. I need you to send it to your family, friends, and also today, most of all, I need you to use this as a tool to help you. I know many times I ask you to share it with your family and friends and share it with individuals, but today I specifically want you to listen to this for yourself today. And also get your pen and paper out. Y'all know that I got plenty of growth gems I'm going to be dropping during this episode, so I want you to make sure you got it ready, your pen and paper ready. All right, here goes. The first way that unresolved trauma can hinder your growth is because it creates limiting beliefs. It creates limiting beliefs. And I want to say that trauma often plants subconscious lies in our life. When you don't deal with the trauma in your life, what it does, it plants subconscious lies like I'm not worth it, or I will always be abandoned, or I don't deserve this success. And these beliefs, what they do to us, they impact us. They keep you from dreaming big. It keep you from being all that you know you can be because you haven't dealt with the drama. And sometimes it keeps you from stepping out. And I want to say that fear, you got to learn how to let your faith carry you and don't let your doubt, let your faith allow you to walk, but you can't allow your fear to hinder you from where you're trying to go. And that's what you cannot do, because unresolved trauma will have you at a place where you are afraid to step out for leadership positions. You're afraid to step out on different areas in life, even relationships. You're afraid to love again. You're afraid to be in love again because you've dealt with one bad relationship, or you dealt with one bad individual. You had one bad relationship, and now it causes you to not want to be entangled with anyone else. But you got to learn how to deal with the unresolved trauma. Because what unresolved trauma will do, here, listen to this, they will confuse identity with injury. When you don't identify the trauma, it will, and you don't deal with it, it will cause your identity to be defined as injury. So you can't confuse identity with injury, because you've been hurt and now you try to identify yourself according to that hurt because you didn't deal with the trauma. And it may be childhood trauma, it may be church trauma, work, relational, family, whatever trauma you may not have dealt with. You cannot define yourself according to the trauma. Because one person hurt you, you think everybody gonna hurt you. Because one person done you wrong, you think everybody's gonna do you wrong. And you cannot penalize or pay people back for somebody else. And I want to say this because a lot of times, many of us, people have to wear hazmat suits around you because you're cross-contaminating trauma from one relationship to another, or one hurt to another, to another situation, or relationship, or even work environment. You move from job to job and you hadn't really, you hadn't really dealt with it. And when you don't deal with the unresolved trauma, what it does to you, it puts a belief system in you, and it wires you to believe that you're not capable to accomplish it, you're not capable to handle it, and you're not capable to do it. And I want to say to you, to our listeners, I want to say to you that you have to unwire yourself, untangle yourself, unwrap yourself with the disbelief that trauma leaves in your life. You can't, if nobody else believes in you, you must learn how to believe in yourself, that I'm able to do it, I can do it, and I know I can do it, regardless of what I've gone through, regardless of what I've experienced in life, regardless of what has happened to me in life, I am able to do it. Believe in yourself. But then here goes the second one, y'all. What we must understand about trauma is that not only does it creates this limiting beliefs and this belief system, but then what it does, second of all, it fuels fear based on decisions. So trauma wires the nervous system, and the brain says stay safe at all costs. So what trauma does, it limits you. And instead of you pursuing opportunities and take risks, what you do, you reject it and cling to the comfort zone. You cling to that thing that is safe. And because someone hurt you in the past as a business partner, or because you have dealt with a bad work relationship, you avoid collaborations, missing chances to grow. And fear-based choices lead to stagnation. Hear that. When you make fear-based choices, it leads you to stagnation. Instead of moving forward in faith, and you always rehearse. And I want to tell somebody, the rehearsal is over. Quit rehearsing what was and participate in what's happening now and look forward to the future. That's what I want to help you with today. You got to learn how to not rehearse the past. You're always looking at the worst case scenario, or what if. You always play it safe. The what if, because of the trauma, because you want to protect. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't protect yourself. I'm not saying that you shouldn't make sure that you go good and make sure that you are safe. But I want to say that a lot of times we use it as an excuse that we don't want to move forward because we've been hurt before. And it keeps you small when life is intended for you to be big, and you cannot allow fear to capture you, put you in a box, because you're afraid of what was. You're afraid of the trauma that you hadn't dealt with, and a lot of people are afraid of it because they don't want to deal with it. But not only, here go the third one, y'all. When we look at what unresolved trauma does to our growth, it sabotages relationships. Relationships, here go a growth gem. Relationships are mirrors, and trauma destructs the reflection. Someone was betrayed may constantly test others' loyalty or isolate to avoid hurt. Y'all got that? How many times do we make people pay or try to, prove their loyalty to you? They're loyal to you because somebody betrayed you. Now you feel like everybody, you got to make them prove who they are. No. Trauma can make people can interpret neutral actions like a delayed text as abandonment. I mean, it causes your interpretation of things. And I want to pause and say to you, because of trauma, you always revert because familiarity, you fear always produce, well, let me say this, not fear, familiarity always produces fear. Because, a person don't text back immediately, oh, I guess they ghosted me. Come on. Or because a person doesn't, respond the way you think they should respond, or they're not engaging the way you think they should be engaging, you feel like they're ghosting you and they're doing you wrong. And you misinterpret what it is. Maybe an emergency, may something may have came up. But, and what happens is when we don't deal with this, it impacts us, and it causes a cycle of broken trust and missed opportunities for authentic connections. When we don't deal with the hurt, when we don't deal with the pain, when we don't deal with what we are dealing with the trauma, it causes us for you to not thrive in healthy community. I want to say this. You cannot do this by yourself. You cannot succeed in life by yourself. We need each other. I need you and you need me. We need each other. And you got to learn how to have healthy community. Unresolved trauma limits the very support system we need to heal and expand. It will limit because you hadn't resolved the trauma in your life. It will have you feeling abandoned when there's nothing, absence don't mean abandonment. Maybe a situation, maybe some type of incident has come up that makes a person, for a minute, they may need to take a break. But because, and can I say this, also what trauma does? Unresolved trauma will have you taking everything personal. It will have you taking everything personal, and it's not personal. It will have you always on defense. It will always have you at a place of where you are on the defense. You always got your fence up, ready to attack. You will always be ready to shield and protect yourself when you when you have not dealt with the unresolved trauma. And I want to say to you that if you're going to be where you want to go in life, and you want to grow, and you want to succeed in life, and you want to be successful, you cannot take yesterday's hurt into today, or nor can you take it into the future. You got to learn how to let those things go so you can continue to grow in life. Trauma is like weeds that you let keep growing, and it's choking and stopping the growth that could be taking place because you refuse to pick those weeds out. But then trauma, it drains you emotionally energy. You hear people, I just don't have the capacity, I don't have the mind to deal with it, because Carrying unresolved trauma is like living with an open tab in your soul. Ooh, that's good, y'all. Did you get that? Carrying unresolved trauma is like living with an open tab in your soul. Even when you're not actively thinking about it, the wound, your body is on high alert. This is good, y'all. Because a lot of times we feel like because we don't think about it, and just because you don't think about it don't mean it goes away. And I've stated that before. Many times we think, oh, because I don't think about it, or I don't engage in it. I don't talk about it. It just don't go away. You got to learn how to dig it up, because we buried in the sand. We dig it up. I want you to dig it up, acknowledge it, deal with it, and forgive it. That's what we got to do. But you got an open tab on your soul. Your mind, and there's a book, I can't remember the author. It's called "When the Body Keeps Score." I've read it before. I can't think of it right now on top of my head. But it talks about how the stress of our body, it drains our focus and creativity and our resilience, because trauma is draining. You might want to launch a new project, but you burn out because you haven't dealt with the trauma. You're burnt out. You're tired. You're fatigued. Trauma, hear this growth gem. Trauma becomes the secret thief of energy you need for performing purpose-driven living. Trauma, it's a silent thief. It's stealing from you, and you don't even know it. It keeps creeping in silently as you go on your day-to-day activities, as you're living life to its fullest. You call yourself being all that you're wanting to be, and you know what trauma is doing? It's creeping up slowly but surely on you because you hadn't dealt with it. But then, here goes the big one, y'all. This is what trauma would do to you. It'll keep you stuck in the past. Trauma often freezes parts of the mind in the moment of pain. This shows up as flashbacks, overthinking, or repeating the same unhealthy patterns. Trauma will always keep you in the past. You're living in today, but your response is still shaped by yesterday. Did y'all get that? You're living in today, but because you haven't dealt with the unresolved trauma, you always respond to today with responses that's shaped by yesterday. Because of what happened yesterday, you respond to the day with the feelings and the unresolved trauma and emotions that you had yesterday. And why do we pay today for what happened yesterday? Instead of building towards the future, life becomes reactive, about avoiding pain rather than pursuing purpose. Spiritually, it makes it hard to walk in the newness when the old has not been released. I want to say you can't receive what life has for you if you hadn't released what life has done to you. Did you get that? You can't receive what newness life has for you if you don't release what life has done to you. Yes, life has given us some bad hands. Things have happened in life, but you got to release what life has done to you so you can receive what life has for you. There's so much past beyond what happened to you. And you can never reach what is for you and what life has for you and what's ahead of you if you do not give up what life has done to you. Yes, we all have had a past. All of us have past. We all proud of it? No. But we have to deal with the unresolved trauma. So the next episode, I need y'all to stay on this, because the next episode, be on the lookout, is we're going to talk about how to deal with the unresolved trauma. But we looked at how does it today. This episode, it's a part 2 to this, because we looked at what it does to us. Trauma interrupts forward motion. I'm telling you what it's doing to you. It limited your beliefs, what you think you cannot do. But we're going to look at in the next episode on how we are supposed to heal. How do we heal the trauma? How do we heal ourselves from the trauma? But you can't heal until you first, and you've heard me say this before on this episode, on this podcast, you can't heal unless you be real. And you got to be real with yourself. There's some stuff that I keep holding on to. There's some stuff that I think and I thought I was over. Yes, you thought you was over it. You thought that you had conquered it. You thought that you had, you thought that it was, you had, it was under your feet. You were moving forward. But I want to say that it's not the fact that you have a feet problem. It's the fact that you have a focus problem. And the focus is that you are focusing so much on the past that you can't see the future that lies ahead of you. You got to understand, trauma doesn't define you. It doesn't define who you are. But how you respond will shape your growth. The good news that I have for us is that healing is possible. Doesn't matter if you've been raped, molested, been cheated on, it doesn't matter what trauma has happened in your life. We all have had bad things to happen to us. But the good news is that healing is possible to all of us. And that's what we're going to deal with the next episode. How do I heal from the trauma then? I see what it's doing to me. I see what the trauma has done to me. I see what it's doing to me, how it's affecting my life. And not only is it affecting my life, it's affecting my surroundings. It's affecting my children, my family. And I gotta heal from this. I gotta have true healing. And that's what I want to present to you, that true healing gotta take place. Because true healing is not just about surviving the trauma, but true healing takes place when you learn how to thrive. When I know how to heal, I can heal from the trauma and allow the healing that I have gone through to help me help somebody else get through their trauma. We know that trauma is survivable because you're listening to this. You have survived the trauma. You've made it through. But then the thing is now, how do I get past? I've survived it. But how do I get past the wounds that it has caused? How do I get past the hurt that it has caused? How do I get past, listen, how do I get past the scars? Because sometimes, and I think we don't understand it, yes, it has happened. Yes, it don't hurt because the wound has healed. But every now and then, I find myself subject to returning back because not because of the wound, because when I see the scar, and the scar doesn't motivate me, it puts me back in a place of where I recall what has happened to me. And so y'all, I thank y'all for joining me on this episode of another episode of the Growth Gym Podcast. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need a reminder that growth is still possible, even after trauma. Hey, y'all, like I always said, if you would like to contact me, You can contact me at growthgympodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I hope this episode has really helped you just as it has helped me. I'm grateful. Thank you to all our listeners across the world. Thank you to all our sponsors, to everyone who helps make this episode and make this podcast what it is. Thank you so much. Always remember, keep growing, keep healing, keep shining, for we know growth is a journey and not a destination. This been your host, Chris Briggs. Hey, thank you, and I hope to see you again on another episode. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Growth Gems podcast. I'm so grateful to have you here with us today. I truly hope that you've enjoyed and learned something valuable from today's episode. Our goal is to provide you with the insights and inspiration you need to supercharge your growth journey, whether it's in your personal or professional life. As you know, growth is a never-ending adventure. It's a journey filled with ups and downs, triumphs and challenges. But it's those very challenges that help us grow and become better versions of ourselves. So no matter where you are in your growth journey, keep pushing forward, keep learning, and keep growing. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on future episodes. We have some amazing topics lined up that I know you won't want to miss. Also, follow us on social media. Facebook, Chris Briggs. Twitter at CABriggsSR. Instagram at CABriggsSR. Thank you for tuning in today, and I can't wait to see you again on our next episode of the Growth Gems podcast.